Have you ever felt like God is silent? Like you are praying, you're seeking God, but there seems to be no answer. Truth is this: God is always speaking to us each and every day of our lives, but sometimes we are too distracted or even too distant to hear from God. In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 things that you need to do for you to hear from God clearly and personally. Stay with me until the end because number 3 is the very thing that most people ignore. The first thing that you need to do is create a very quiet space for yourself. Elijah in the Bible did not hear from God in the earthquake. He heard from God from a gentle whisper. So if your life is loud, there's too much social media, there's too much rushing, there's too much things that are making noise in your life, you will definitely not hear from God. You don't need a fancy setup. You just need a quiet corner, could be in your room, or a quiet walk around the park or in your neighborhood. But just make sure that you turn off your phone so that you could hear Him clearly. The second thing that you need to do is to fill your spirit with the Word of God. So many people want to get close with God, but they do not open the very book where God already speaks. He spoke with us a very long time ago in the Bible. So His word, it's more like a love letter to us. For us to hear His voice, we have to know His word. So when you read and meditate on His word, your heart and your mind become very sensitive to His presence. You are able to recognize God's voice. When you meditate on His word, you are going to be very sensitive to His presence, because His presence and whatever He says to you, it will never contradict His word. Sometimes God will never say anything new to you because you do not know what He has already said to you in His word. So get very familiar with the word for you to be sensitive to God's voice. Psalms 119 says, "Your word is a light to my feet and a lamp to my path." The third thing is very powerful and it's very personal to me because I recognize that that's the one thing that I was doing in my life that made me not to hear the voice of God. The third thing is this: obey what He has already told you. Many times God has already spoken to us, but we did not act on what He has told us to do. And when you don't obey the word of God or His voice, what does He do? He gets very quiet. That's what God was to me. He was very quiet because He already told me what to do, but I chose to ignore it. And now, because of my disobedience, He became very quiet in my life. So, obedience unlocks clarity. When you walk in whatever He has told you to do, He will give you more. If you do not act on whatever God has told you, you are creating mistrust between you and God. You are not obedient. So when you're not obedient, God gets quiet. So sometimes you are not waiting on God to speak. You're waiting on yourself to be obedient to what He has already told you to do. Luke 11:28 says, "Blessed are those who hear the word of God and obey it." If you do not obey His word, He will never speak to you. If you want God to continue speaking to you or to start speaking to you, obey what He has already said. If this message has blessed you, do not forget to subscribe and like this video so that other people can get to hear this message.